Hello there and welcome. I'm Ole Brøgger, and in this video we are going to look at one of my failures, which I actually thought was a success. In this box I have all my sewer tiles, and on the opposite side there is some couple tiles. The thing is, when I open this, it stinks. The resin used for the sewer tiles, I don't know what's wrong with it, but it was some cheap UV resin I got on Amazon, and it smells awful. The other thing is, I don't think it hardened enough. My problem is now, this is my sewer tiles. They are stuck together, and oh my god, it smells. So I think I will make some new. But first, I have to recover these magnets, because I ran out of magnets. So why don't we get started? Okay, let's get these magnets out. First, I'll cut off the corners. There's 2 magnets in each corner, and the rest of the foam and tile, I'll just throw it away. And while cutting off corners, I just noticed something. The resin actually also melted a lot of the foam. They were all crooked and warped, and they actually looked like. And then I got this crazy idea. Okay, foam is flammable, hot glue melts at high temperature, so this would be the easy way to get out the magnets. But if one disaster didn't strike me at the resin, and my poor knowledge about temperature and magnets, well, let's say it this way. This was a waste of time. It looked cool, but it was a waste of time. Well, after it cooled down, I started to make the recovery of the magnets, and they popped out as I thought they would. There was just this problem. If you expose magnets to a high temperature, they lose their magnetism. And I have no idea how to get it back. This was just a waste of time and magnets. I can just throw these out in the garbage can, and lesson learned, don't heat up magnets to a temperature where they lose their magnetism. Well, without any magnets on hand, I thought I might as well get started. I still had some leftover foam from all my previous projects, and they fit perfectly to make some more tiles. I just cut up about 40 tiles, and then I used my homemade jig. It has multiple functions. I can make magnet holes, I can cut out a grid, and the most important part in this build is that I can carve out the water lines. I will always cut out a cross section, and if I need a corner, I'll just glue back in some of the tiles I just cut out. In that way, I can easily make corner turns and T-sections. The tile jig also works perfectly with a handheld foam cutter, so you don't need to invest in an expensive Proxon just to make some tiles. I made 9 full tiles, 10 straight, 16 corners, 2 dead ends, 4 intersections, and 2 cross sections. Last time I made sewer tiles, I used my rollers to make some stone. This time I'll just use my garden rock to make some texture, because I don't think the rollers made deep enough cuts to make a visible structure in the surface. With this rock, well, everything will look random and have a good enough look for me. And then I will coat all the tiles with Mod Podge mixed with black paint. This is the usual recipe. 50-50 black paint and Mod Podge. This will seal up the foam, so the paint I will use afterwards won't be sucked into it. I'll use my airbrush with this primer from Vallejo. It is the German Panzer Gray, and I love this color as usual. It's not black, it has a green tint to it, and it works perfectly as a primer. I also have this German green brown from Vallejo. It is also a primer, but I will sort of dry brush it on, and some more visible streaks and dots, just dabbing the paint on. And then I found this sap green almost dried up in my hidden stash, and I thought I might as well do the same thing with this. For the bottom of the water, I'll use this AK Terrain Dark Earth. This is just a brand new product for me, so I'm looking forward to see how it works. For now it looks really promising, and I just can't wait till it dries up so I can see the final result. And while the texture paint dries up, I can make some dry brushing with a light gray. It's been sitting and drying overnight, and now I will use my homemade wash. This is just water mixed with some burnt umber and black paint, and a tiny drop of dish soap. I thought it was a bit thick, so I thinned it down some more with some water, and then I just soaked all the tiles in the wash. Let's set it to dry overnight and see the result in the morning. I popped out my box of basing tools, and then I just started to put in some tufts, some green foam and branches and leaves and all the dirt you can find in the sewer. And then I went to my workshop, getting ready to pour some epoxy. We need some blue tape, epoxy, cups, and my vacuum chamber, and over here I have some alcohol-based colors for epoxy. But first I need to cover all the tile sides with some blue tapes so we won't get any leaks. This is a 2-component epoxy and it is mixed 2-to-1. When you're working with epoxy, it's very important that you use gloves because it is kind of toxic and you can get some serious rash if you get it on your skin. I used 2 coffee stir sticks in my handheld drilling machine and mixed up all the epoxy. Then I put in some brown color and mixed it up again. I thought the color was not kind of gross enough, so I mixed in some green as well. And to remove the bubbles, I put it in my vacuum chamber. Now it is nice and clear and bubble free, and it is time to pour it into the tiles. Now they just have to set for 24 hours before I can move on. I really hope they don't leak. The epoxy has hardened and I'm pretty happy with the results, and it's now time to peel off all the tape. I ripped some of the base coat off, but we can fix that using the original primer with a brush. All the tape is off, everything is fixed. Now we just have to let it dry. And we are done. These tiles turned out just perfect, and they didn't even take as long to make as the previous models. I'm pretty happy about how they turned out. I never got magnets installed, and after I did this setup, I realized that maybe I don't need magnets. I have some other plans with magnets in the future, but that'll be in another video. For the cobblestones on the back, yeah, they're missing. I want to explore better methods to make cobblestones because the rollers didn't make a deep enough impact to the foam, so the cobblestones wouldn't be visible enough. In the future, we will explore some more cobblestone tiles. This is pretty much it for now. We had a disaster, a build that didn't work out as I thought. It went up in flames. I killed a lot of magnets and it looked cool, but yeah, as you know, it didn't work out. But thank you so much for watching this to the end. I really appreciate you being here, and stay tuned. There are more videos coming up. Goodbye for now.